Hi, everybody. So today's Monday. That means it's time for family movie night. This week, we are starting a month on classic musicals. And y'all know how much I love musicals. And I just got back from a big Broadway trip. So I'm very inspired. And I got to see a bunch of revivals. So that was really fun. I got to see The Music Man. I got to see Company. I got to see Funny Girl and Little Shop of Horrors, all revivals. And so that was really fun. And today we're talking about really the OG of Broadway musicals. We're talking about Oklahoma, and this film came out in 1955. The musical was in 1943. It's an innovation from Showboat, which was more of a light opera, to Oklahoma, to being a true Broadway musical, to being this new thing. And the whole idea of sort of the book musical, a musical play where the songs and dance are fully integrated into a well-made story with serious dramatic goals that is able to evoke genuine emotions other than amusement. So we're moving away from sort of the vaudeville idea of entertainment on Broadway to light opera to a new thing, the Broadway musical. And so Oklahoma was really groundbreaking in that. And the way that it combined Broadway with ballet and opera and all of these other elements that had been popular before is really pretty incredible. And it's a very interesting movie, and one that I actually think kind of holds up in a way, but then also doesn't hold up in a way. So it was very interesting to watch it, and I enjoyed it. It stars Shirley Jones and Gordon McRae as Laurie and Curly, the lead characters. And I think one of the things that holds up about Oklahoma is that it is pretty dark and nuanced for a musical. We don't really think of from the 50s as things being so dark, but especially Curly can be a very unlikable character. And in some ways I kind of like that, because I think it gives a depth, a nuance to the story that would just be light and fluffy. But instead, it's really about what it was like for these people on the frontier, and the loneliness that people dealt with, the darkness that people dealt with, and it's kind of interesting that way, I think. And there's layers. They did a revival a while back on Broadway with Alex Stroker playing Laurie, and I think that that some of that darkness works for a modern adaptation of this story. And really, when you think about the Rodgers and Hammersteins, they have darker elements in most of their movies, most of their musicals. With You've got Nazis in Sound of Music, you have spousal abuse that's maybe not handled the best in Carousel. But I don't know, these are not as light and fluffy as their reputation might leave you to believe. But basically, we have a whole song in this movie, in this musical, with Curly telling Judd to kill himself, and that it'll be a good day for everybody when he finally does leave them and dies. That was pretty brutal. And so on one hand, I think that actually makes it feel more modern, but on the other hand, I think that it feels awkward because, again, this is supposed to be a character that we're rooting for, and I don't know if the show and the movie totally owns up to how dark it actually is. But I don't know. It's an interesting thing I'm still kind of grappling with. And then there's things that I like, in the sense that I love the farmhouse ballet scene is gorgeous, but I do think it kind of goes on too long. It's really long, I think over 15 minutes. So I don't know. I mean, I really think it's beautiful and I respect it for what it is, but then again, it just kind of stops the story. And so I don't know. I go back and forth on a lot of things in this movie, but you have so many great songs. Of course, Oklahoma, you have Surrey with a Fringe on Top is so much fun. People will say we're in love. is great. And I love Shirley Jones' voice. It's just absolutely beautiful. And her and Gordon have nice chemistry, I think. And I think that when they are called upon to be charming, I think that they can. I also love Gloria Graham as I do Annie, and I'm just a girl who can't say no. And talk about something that actually has darker undertones, but it's kind of on the surface light and fluffy. But the whole thing with the peddler man and everything like that is pretty dark, but it's played light and fluffy. I don't know. So there's just that like interesting back and forth in this movie, I think, and that makes it compelling, but also makes it kind of awkward. I don't know. It's weird, but yeah, great songs. And it's got this CinemaScope filming, which is just beautiful and big and bright and colorful, and so that really works too. And overall, I definitely would recommend it. As far as for family movie night, I think you definitely want to talk to your kids about some of the darker elements, and what do they think about that. And I'd probably go over most of their heads, but I think it would probably be a good spot for a discussion. It is a pretty long movie. How long is it? 145 minutes. So it's over 2 hours long. So it's a long set. But I really did enjoy it. I think it is a very interesting musical, and it's got great songs, and it, like I said, looks beautiful. The cinematography and the dancing and all of that is great. So let me know what you think of this one. Where does it rank for you as far as classic musicals? I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think of those darker elements with Judd and him being just super creepy, but then also Curly being kind of creepy as well? I think that they might have changed that song some for the new revival. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure about that. So let me know what you think. Please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel, and check out the Patreon and merch store. I would really appreciate it. And thanks so much, everybody. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.